I wanted to start with basically a DeMar quote about Zach and a Zach quote about DeMar that I thought paired in a really kind of way. And they were kind of just asked about they were both asked about their on-court chemistry and why they fell short this season, and whether or not they have confidence that they as a duo, and they also threw Vooch in there as a trio, have confidence that they can get this right. DeMar DeRozan said of Zach LaVine, quote, "I've never played with such a talented, gifted player at the wing position as Zach." Zach LaVine said of DeMar DeRozan, "For me and DeMar as a duo, I haven't been more confident with anybody in my life."
Damn. Yo,
those things were said within minutes of each other. And I think it's fair to wonder if their on-court fit is not ideal based on the shortcomings they've had this season. Where do you guys stand on that? Obviously, it's not like either one of them was going to go out there and throw the under the bus in any way.
No.
But do we still have faith in the lovey-dovey friendship and partners in crime on the basketball court relationship of these two guys?
Well, first of all, neither one of them are lying. Let's start there.
I believe that.
Both of that is true. You know what I'm saying? Both of those are true statements. Will it work on the court? And Zach also said in that he feels like they're just right there as far as being that kind of offense, and we think it's a little bigger.
They were 24th.
But 21.
Out of 30.
24. But we think it's a little larger than that. If you're looking at it just in a scope of those two, yeah, I could feel why they feel that way. They both made the All-Star game in 1 year together. And then the next year, the only reason Zach didn't make it is because he wasn't right in the first half of the year.
And they did both cite the fact that basically since the beginning of season one, they haven't both been fully healthy on the court together.
Yes, correct. That's also key. So there's success there that they can literally lean on and show you that this has worked for us. We've been awesome together. But I think what Bulls fans will lean on and show is the wins. That's really what it boils down to. You got two guys who will both get you 25 and 5, 25, 5 and 5, if you want to say it that way. They can do that for you. But will it translate into a second round? Will it translate into a top 5 seed? We haven't seen that. We saw it happen when you had another element of a point guard with you. And, yeah, it worked in that sense. And, again, that's something else that they can lean on in that sense. But those two together, we've seen also, and, Will's pointed out, Matt's pointed out about why it hasn't worked and the issues that, occurred because a lot of it is on the other end of the floor, on the defensive end of the floor. And
spacing on the offensive end.
And I was coming right back to that. And also the spacing on the offensive end of the floor, and especially when teams start to double team those guys. We've seen it. You can also point to that Miami Heat game or either game. You want to point to the Raptors game too. One guy had it, the other guy didn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. One worked, the other one didn't. So you can point it to it that way as well. So I get it. There's truth in what they're saying. But if you're going to keep it like that, like those two together, and again, it's hard for me to say I'm against bringing it back because I'm like, what option do you have? But if you're going to make these trades, I'm not against that neither. But if you're going to really keep these guys, then you have to invest in a point guard, bro. Like, it's just really that simple to me. Like, if you're going to keep those two together, them guys, there has to be a moderator. There has to be a dude at that point guard position putting it together because they were at their best when that was the case. So you're going to have to look at that part for me.
Well said. I mean, look, they are a flawed team. You don't be the 24th offense in the league by accident.
It's true.
Same with being the 5th best defense. I think the fact that that Billy Donovan was able to churn out a top 5 defense with this group is like incredible. I think it speaks to Vooch's ability to defend in space and to quarterback a defense despite not being like a traditional rim protector. I think Zach and DeMar, for their flaws on that side of the ball, played a lot better. But that's an example of playing above the sum of your parts. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly the opposite of what happened on the offensive end. They played far below the sum of their parts. And I think, again, this goes back to not only the point guardsmanship, but the shooting. Like, you're bogged down.
Yeah.
Like they were great in transition. They were great when they did get out and get deflections and steals and that stuff. But like that's not necessarily a reliable source of offense that you can count on for 20 points a game. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
And they need to incorporate both somebody who can facilitate and orchestrate an offense, but also, like I said, guys that can be not just like floor spacers, but a real shooting threat. And that's why, like, I really do think that in an ideal situation, those two guys could complement each other. The whole knock on Zach 3 years ago was, well, he doesn't perform well in the clutch. He can't always get to a shot. He turns the ball over. He needs like a big wing initiator next to him.
Right.
That's exactly what DeMar is, who can get a shot, who is fantastic in the clutch. They complement each other really well. Zach great off the ball. DeMar really good as a, slasher. I think it can work, but the right pieces need to be around them. And as good as Caruso was defensively, as good as Patrick Beverley was defensively, as good as Kobe got, I just don't think there's enough shooting around them to where it can work. And I don't see an avenue for them to add that if they're going to keep their big three together and bring back Kobe.